Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion, interview kind of video. It is the most star-studded video ever on my channel. I'm very pleased to have on two very, very talented Yu-Gi-Oh! Voice actors. If you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves, go right ahead.
I'm Daniel J. Edwards. I'm the voice of, in the current show, Varis and Gore, or Aigami, or Dennis Macfield, or Dipper. Or other people.
I am Sam Black. In the current show, I am Kusanagi, or Koulter, and Roboppy and Knight. And in Arc V, I was Battle Beast and Mamoru Noro.
So, star-studded. Two really great guys, two really awesome, very talented voice actors. Thank you both for coming on. Of
course. Yeah, handsome, very handsome.
Yes, very good-looking people. It's not only the most star-studded, but the most attractive podcast I've done. So, let's just start with Yu-Gi-Oh! And what Yu-Gi-Oh! Really means to you guys and what brought you to Yu-Gi-Oh! And as a voice actor, you know, obviously you have to audition for certain roles. When you get that call back saying that, you know, hey, we want you to play Gore, or hey, we want you to play Kusanagi, like, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? I know that's kind of a loaded question, but where do you guys...
I actually didn't know Yu-Gi-Oh! Very well until I booked my first gig as Scritch, the Barbarian in Zexal.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know you were in Zexal. That's awesome.
No one does.
Yeah.
It's all good. It was a filtered voice, but like it was just me being crazy.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to get an audition for that, and when I booked it, I was like, "What is Yu-Gi-Oh! About?" So I dove into it, and it was really cool. It was cool. I didn't know Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so fun.
Yeah.
So like, I think I was grateful that I got the role so I could understand the universe, and now I'm addicted. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I was familiar with the show, like the first generation, you know, the
monsters.
Yeah, childhood stuff, you know, where I was like, oh man, this is so nostalgic for me. This is like, you know, I get to participate in this thing that was a solid part of my childhood. And then I got in, and actually doing it was so much cooler than like just appreciating it. I had, it was like, just a whole, because it got me into the fandom now. And so like it's just this whole world that like, the internet's so big, you don't know how big fandoms are until you dive in.
Definitely.
And when you do that, you're like, oh my God, everyone loves this. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. And you two have been, I think, and I just wanted to thank you. You're definitely one of the two most appreciated and beloved voice actors for Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because of how interactive you are with the fan base. And so Barrett Letty's another one. I mean, there have been, who's voicing Akira, there have been a lot more fan interaction with the voice actors and from the voice actors than there definitely has been in the past with Yu-Gi-Oh! So like, how have your experiences been with the community? Have they been good, bad, hopefully mostly positive stuff?
Quit shitting on Gore. Quit shitting on Go. He's amazing. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's been great. I love the fans. I love people. People are amazing.
Yeah.
People are fascinating and amazing. So everybody who loves this universe and has like a say in it is awesome. Like, it's great. I love the hate. I love the love.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I feel like there were stages. It was like, oh my God, there's so many people who love this. And then the next stage was like, that's a whole lot of yaoi, guys. And then the next stage, the stage after that is being like, how come my character's not in more? So it's, you know, there are levels, there are stages to this.
It's a lot of surprise and then acceptance and then just going along.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
I'm gonna please. I'm gonna get a lot of DMs after that.
If you don't follow these guys on Twitter, I mean, I'll have all their stuff linked down below. Definitely follow them on Twitter. I mean, your shit posting is off the walls. It's incredible.
I've got a lot of free time and terrible ideas.
I've eaten so many hot dogs since I hate you.
Yeah,
yeah. Hot dog gang. I'm wearing the shirt. Hot dog gang. Hey.
Incredible. And, you know, even in the first episode, because I went to Pyramid of Light, so I saw the first episode, one of my favorite moments from that was the hot dog sandwich debate joke. And so I'm just so excited to see more comedic stuff going on with VRAINS. Because VRAINS is a much more, I think, serious universe than we've seen recently, especially early on. So to see that kind of more light take on it from the English dub and the more comedic stuff, I'm really, really excited for that.
You know, and it's still a serious show. And I think that's what helps helps the comedy so much is because there's so much tension, and then you get these moments of comedy that come in and diffuse that tension.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. So, Daniel, I have a question for you. You're voicing Go, Revolver, Gore, Varis in the dub, and those are two of the most prominent characters in VRAINS. And the first thing that comes to my mind is they have a duel very late in season 1.
Yeah.
So how is it very challenging to voice two characters, especially two that are going to be dueling against each other? Like, how do you find a good balance as a voice actor to separate and distinguish two voices but still give your all in each role?
Well, luckily, like, as voice actors, we find natural differences between each of our characters, and we try to find distinguished sounds because that's kind of our job.
Yeah.
But, like, even diving in deeper as an actor, like, it's just, they're two different people. They have different energies. They have different ways of thinking. Like, if I were to think more like, if I were to just put my body into, like, a Varis or a Revolver, he would just be more calm, collected. Like, he would speak like this. He wouldn't have to raise his voice. Whereas Go, he's this big, like, he has this, thing, and he kind of, like, he's just, you know, he's naturally, like, on roids. So he's just this very, like, so, like, that alone, like, deciphers two characters. And not to say that I'm great at it, but I think putting different energies into completely different characters, when you see it, it'll keep the illusion going.
Yeah.
And to that end, I feel like a lot of people maybe underestimate how physical voiceover acting is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like there's a lot of movement in the booth. Mm-hmm. And there's, so much of it is like you physically embody stuff. I mean, and you can hear it too. You can hear that. A smile is audible. When someone's smiling when they're talking, you can hear that. Mm. So like any little thing you do physically with yourself, it definitely reads. So those physical differences come through.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like voice acting definitely does not get the credit that it deserves in terms of being almost as, if not more difficult than just regular acting.
We should be very rich and famous.
Honestly, it's not an easy job to do. It really isn't. So I do commend all voice actors.
You're not rich and famous?
Don't tell them.
He's got the DSOD, paycheck. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But,
the plana is good.
You were a great Aigami in that movie, man. So Sam, more of a question for you. This is, I'd say, I know you did Battle Beast. I know you did the clock guy. I can never remember his name.
Mamoru Noro.
Right. It's like kind of a tongue twister.
Yes.
This is, I would say, though, your first main character
Yeah, it's my first main character.
in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kusanagi is the right-hand man of the protagonist. He kind of is stationary in the hot dog truck a lot.
Yeah.
What are like the pros and cons to voicing? And is it more difficult to voice a character that's in the show a lot more? Or is it kind of just same stuff, just more lines?
I don't think it's harder. I appreciate having more time because Kusanagi's voice is also really, I don't know if anyone watching has seen that first episode when the thing was in theaters, but it's pretty similar to my natural speaking voice, which, as Daniel can attest to, like when you do a character whose voice is similar to your own, it creates its own set of challenges because you can go all the places that as people who do lots of voices you can go. So Kusanagi has these huge high and huge low levels. And that can make it tough when Kusanagi has a line and then you cut away and it's another character I'm doing or that kind of thing, because there is that very wide range. Mm-hmm. But that's such an awesome experience because I get to go places where I wouldn't otherwise get to go. Because there are so many characters. I mean, Battle Beast and Noro especially. Like, Battle Beast just lives here! It was just that. Yeah. And Noro was like way high. It was like very nervous. And like, one lives in the falsetto. One lives like deep in the gut. Mm-hmm. And you don't really get to explore levels with those very much.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, there's such a narrow band.
Like putting on, what do you call them? Personas. I call them personas. Like wrestling is the prime I love WWE for that. It's when you have to put a persona on that's so intense and you have to find subtlety with that. Yeah. It's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, absolutely. Roboppy. There's a thing I did, and this is not a spoiler, but like I have to act offended on one line. And I'm doing the voice of like a cute robot. Like I have, like, I'm up here. Like the range that I have is like maybe like 3 semitones of pitch and like one very specific placement in the throat. And now I have to sound offended. Like that is way, way harder. And so the flexibility of doing sort of a character that sounds like you is so fun, especially with the comedy. Like I love comedy. I'm very involved in the comedy community. So being able to do funny stuff is so awesome.
And so it's just more fun to voice a character like Kusanagi.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, and Kusanagi, I mean, I can think of the one moment. I mean, he's usually a very calm, relaxed guy, but I can think of that one moment during the Akira Yusaku duel where he gets really, really pissed.
Yeah.
And so you get to really kind of explore with his character how his character's going to react. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you do that.
I'm excited for that whole duel.
The first time I saw that facial expression from that duel, I was like, oh, I do that?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So have you guys been, I know you have, Daniel, been watching in the subbed version and been kind of up to date. Have you been watching much of the subbed version? Just clips here and there?
I generally know where the story goes, especially as it relates to my characters.
Right.
But I'm not caught up on the show.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have any theories that you want to talk about? I know you have a lot to say about Gore, about Go.
You know what? I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to keep
that's fine.
I'm going to keep Go brief because I do voice him, and so there might be a bias.
Right, fair enough.
But I look at him more as like, you know, he's the relatable guy that people can actually relate to. Like these circumstances that Yusaku and like Soulburner and all these lost children have are unrelatable to most people. I don't think anybody's
You're not tortured as a kid.
I was kidnapped.
Yeah, right.
So personally,
you know.
I mean, you can feel bad for them, but relatable it's tough to be.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas being a foster kid is totally relatable. And then wanting to do everything for that group of people, no matter what the cost. If it's beating Yusaku, who cares? Absolutely, I would do that for my kids. And then when I don't know. When he makes these changes about himself, it's like I was listening to your theory about it before. Like he did die. He died.
He did die.
So like your perspective changes.
Yeah.
Like you have to do more for yourself. And he realized that he's been so selfless. I think that he's trying to be more self-full and fulfill what he wants.
Yeah.
Over what anyone else wants. And I think that's cool. If he has to pull out dinosaur wrestlers to do that, fine. That's fine. As far as theories go, though, I was looking up green gems just because I was very curious as to what they mean. And like, I came up with like emerald and like jade, and they're both used as like the form of wisdom and mindfulness and power. So my theory, and I have no evidence because I'm not a scientist or the writer, is that the gems represent control, right? They represent full control. And I think these 3 characters that we're introduced to, which is Soulburner, who's the guy? Bowman and
Haru.
And Haru, yeah. They all have gems in certain areas. Like, it's not just coincidence that the gem is on Soulburner's soul. Right, that the gem is on that is on Bowman's mind.
Right,
like I think it has to do with swapping with the
and Haru's pelvis.
And Haru's pelvis, which I think belongs to chastity, but like I don't think they're gonna go that far because it's a kid's show.
Yeah.
But they say bastard in kids shows, so what can you say? Or
they
what
do.
Can you do?
Yeah.
But I think as far as Bowman goes, I think it has something more to do with the fact that all the kids were wearing that thing. And I think in a way something was stolen from them. And I think it was put into this generating power that you can tap into Bowman. I'm not sure that I believe he's one of the kids. I think he's a surrogate for using the kids' energies, which is why now he believes that he's Yusaku.
He's Yusaku, yeah.
They're nobodies, and Zehanort changed them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Kingdom Hearts, guys.
Okay.
Either Kingdom Hearts
How
or
did
it's
I
Full
come
Metal
here
Alchemist.
and I feel like the nerd? How?
I know, look at this. That's an achievement, I gotta tell you.
I'm cool. Very cool.
That revolves around the whole point that we were talking about before, which is voice actors who give shit to people who fan who fan out about the stuff. It's
Right.
like, no. The only difference is we're getting paid to be fans.
Right.
To do this fun stuff.
Right.
We have these weird skills.
Yeah, there's this weird like shame that I feel like maybe it's more like an earlier generation of voiceover actors had, where it's like, yeah, I do anime for nerds. It's like, yeah, I do anime for nerds.
Be proud of it, you know? Yeah.
We're all nerds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's like I see people who call people out on that. I'm like, dude, like you're just as much of a nerd as me.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
It is. You just got to be appreciative. I wish people were just more nice to each other. But I think that is the reason that so many people in the community really do respect you guys so much. Matt Shipman was another one that people had so much respect for.
Yeah.
Great guy, real classy guy. Barrett Letty always interacts with people. So it's nice to see, though, at least with Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't really speak for other anime, that the voice actors are definitely being more transparent and being more just kinder and more aware of the community and interacting.
We're
think,
also Pokemon actors.
yeah, we are.
Really, I knew you were in Pokemon. I didn't realize you were in Pokemon.
So Faba, do you know Pokemon? Sun and Moon?
Yes, he's the doctor guy, right? Yeah,
He's the doctor guy.
Yes.
And he throws Rowlett, and that's my favorite thing
Yeah.
ever.
I didn't realize you voiced him. That's awesome.
That was me.
That's awesome. Jeez. Well,
I forgot it.
do you remember what it might have been about?
Right. Is that Matt Shipman, I think, did a lot actually to kind of pave the way for this, because I think this might be true for both of us. Matt was the person who got us involved in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the first place. He was for me. He introduced me to the people who got me the audition and so on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I found it differently, but I met him around, we were in it at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Right.
And he brought me into the fan world a little more, I think. He
Gotcha.
totally did. Like,
Yeah.
he pointed out places to look, and like, we discussed doing something like this before, and it never ended up happening, but I'm glad we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
I wish you were here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's doing great for himself. He voiced Shun Kurosaki or Shay in the English dub of Arc 5, in case you weren't aware. That was his big role.
Yeah.
Overrated.
I thought he was amazing. I know you're just kidding.
He is
He's great.
incredible.
He's a
Yeah,
great guy.
he's great.
I'll
voice
tell you,
actor.
when I was in the booth voicing Dipper, I voice him. When it was the 3-on-1 with Shun in that first match where they introduce him to that amazing fucking thing that he did.
Yeah.
When I heard him, because he recorded before me, so I was making some weird Dipper comment, like saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy," and then he goes, "It's my turn!" Like I fell backwards.
Yeah.
When I was in the booth, I was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And from there, that's how I met him. I think that's how I met Matt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, who is that voice? I was like, oh my god, it scared the shit out of me. He's incredible. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I went way back with him, like back to like, you know, amateur voiceover acting and all that stuff, like more than 10 years ago. Wow, like I think significantly more, not significant, well, you know, like 12 years ago, something like that. And so he was just, to me, he was like, oh, he's my friend on Yu-Gi-Oh! So I thought all the voiceover actors were constantly posting like memes and shit posting, interacting with. I didn't know that he was very much the exception.
Very
to that.
unique, very
So the
unique.
moment I got involved, I was like, it's my time. Here we go. But then, you know, people were like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And apparently it's not as common as I thought it was.
It's not the norm.
Matt's just a weirdo, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt.
I wish it was the norm. I feel like it's becoming more of a norm, though, and he did really pave the way for that. So
Totally, yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. That's awesome. Is there really anything else that you guys want to discuss about VRAINS or what to look forward to with the English dub? I know we don't have a release date as of now.
Oh, we're not allowed to. I don't know if we're allowed to say like stuff that's coming up, even though people watching the sub.
Yeah, but you know what? You might not be able to, and I don't want to get
not
hit with
sure.
a lawsuit. So
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I'm not sure if we can say, you know, that joke in the sub, we do that in the dub. I'm not sure if we can say that.
No, we can't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But we can say the joke in the sub was really funny.
Really?
Why would we bring attention?
I'm
not. No. Anyways.
I have another question. I don't know if you guys are allowed to answer this. Which, if a question starts with that, it's probably not a good question to ask. Do you guys at all do any like ad-libbing, or do you usually stick straight to the script? Or do you have any
There's
say?
a little. There's a little.
That's awesome.
Wiggle room. Tiny
That's
bit.
awesome.
Yeah. I have noticed there is more with Kusanagi than with other characters.
Maybe because he's a little more comedic.
Yeah, especially with humor, because humor is so subjective.
It is,
and it doesn't always translate one to one. So there's sometimes moments like that, but I certainly can't say any of that stuff.
right. We'll wait. Watch the dub for that.
But you're gonna want to watch it. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they give you a little bit. Put your own personal touch on it a little bit.
Yeah,
totally.
Cool. It's cool. So I mean that kind of wraps things up. Anything else you guys want to say or are allowed to say or covered all bases?
Be a patron.
Hashtag hot dog gang.
Great.
Thank you.
Without this channel, you'd be missing a lot of stuff.
Thank you guys.
You'd be missing us.
You'd be missing
That's
a lot
true.
of
I mean,
things.
come on.
That's true. These two are class,
A gateway. This is free information, pretty much. Like, it's cool. Anyways.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. So the one last question that I want to ask you, because there are a decent amount of people that I've met that are kind of aspiring voice actors. What is the best piece of advice you have for people who want to be voice actors?
Research. Do your research, practice, take acting classes, and go for it.
Acting, like voice acting, or even general acting?
General acting. Improv. I used to take improv all the time. Like, it's very important just to be on your feet.
Yes.
Useful skill.
Yeah. I have sort of a 3-point thing that I think I've also said on Twitter as much, but it's basically. It's also not convenient or nice, unfortunately. But the first most important thing, where it's not even just if you aspire to be a voice actor, this is very specific to if you aspire to make voice acting your full-time job.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, it is different. It is very different.
Is voice acting both of your full-time jobs? Would you say they are?
Luckily for now, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
well, you guys have broken through.
Even then, though, like, times are different.
Yeah.
Like, even though we could live off of what we do other things.
We do other things. We wear a lot of hats.
Yeah,
a lot of sponsorships.
It's very important to do that.
Yeah.
It's very important because, like, the
diversify.
arts, it's saturated now. It's super saturated.
Yeah,
so, like, you just gotta be on your feet. You can't just say, well, I'm just gonna do voice acting forever until you know you're gonna.
Yeah. Like, anecdotally, like last year, I supported myself with voice acting. Primarily, there were like 2 commercials that paid for my entire year, which is great. But it also means, what if you don't get that?
Right.
What about when that runs out? It's such a fragile career that involves so much freelancing, so much hunting for stuff. So, 3 points. 1, location. If you want to be full-time in voice acting, that usually means you're going to be doing a lot of commercial stuff, and you need to live someplace where that happens. Which, what he did. So, I mean, LA, New York, Texas a bit. Texas, it's very specific. It's very specific, the stuff you're doing there, and there are a lot of people going there to do that stuff. The second thing would be commercial stuff, is that you need to be aware and prepared to do commercial work. That is what will support you. It won't be this stuff. That's an unfortunate reality of voice acting, is that the most money you can make is saying, like, buy Gillette. Like, you'll make way more. So that's very important. So you need to have a really solid commercial voiceover demo.
Alexa, let's play a game.
Yeah. It's that simple stuff. It's like 3 or 4 words. You're in a booth for a half an hour, and that's your money for 3 months.
Crazy.
So that's so important. And then once you have that good commercial voiceover demo, step 3 is you reach out to smaller agencies that represent new talent and get people voiceover auditions. Because the auditions you're going to find on voices.com, voices123, like that stuff, that's not the stuff that you can survive off of. The people who survive off of stuff like Voice Bunny are the most miserable people. Like, you have to,
like Voice 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, you're turning yourself from an artist into a laborer at the point at which you have to exist off of Fiverr and Voice Bunny and Voice 1, 2, 3 and stuff like that,
right.
Where you're constantly like, I need to book 4 things this afternoon because they only pay $20 each. At the point at which you're doing that, like, that's not a fun way to live.
No.
So a voiceover agent, however, will get you access to the kind of commercial auditions where if you book that, that's a serious dose of income for the year. So that's my 3 things. It's location, commercial voiceover demo, get an agent.
And don't expect to be full.
Yeah, don't expect to
For
go
a
full time
while.
for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can technically say I'm full, but I still left. I left last year to do theater because I wanted more money.
Yeah.
So I left. I made sure that Yugioh was still like I would come home. I would fly home whenever they needed me. Like I recorded Dennis a couple times, and I flew home mid tour to do it. But like. You got to do what you got to do. If you want to do this stuff, you have to have many hats. You do. You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
great thing is there are a lot of different things you can do in entertainment. There's so much stuff out there.
That's amazing advice. Really amazing advice. I feel like I'm just going to take that part, make that like its own voice acting tutorial, and upload that separately. I mean, that really is great advice. It really is. And, you know, it's just theater, acting, voice acting. It's tough. It's tough to make it. It's tough to break through. I feel like you have to be kind of aggressive. You have to be a little lucky.
Yeah.
And,
Lucky is a big part of it.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Talent, of course, but like
Yes,
luck is
yeah.
like you have to pay to play as well. Like nowadays, it's really hard to just be like, I'm talented, I'm going to go to an open call. No, those don't exist. You have to pay to play. You have to be smart with who you pay. Key advice here: don't pay actors necessarily. Don't unless go.
If you're
go to
taking a
agent
class,
calls.
if you're taking a class, take it with a casting director, take it with an agent.
Yeah.
There are I can count maybe mentally like a list of 5 actors that I really trust for classes. And to a degree, like also those actors who run those classes bring in casting directors and bring in agents and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
right. So connections are important.
Connections, networking is a bigger deal than, unfortunately, any acting you'll ever do. Oh God.
That's great. Well, amazing advice. I guess that pretty much wraps things up, right? Anything else you want to say, or you guys are good?
You should make a planeteer for your contributions.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'll have that over Egyptian god because nothing beats the Plana.
Oh,
So.
can I also on this? You have to air this. You have to play Duel Links. You
I know. I will play Duel Links.
Gotta play Duel
It's
Links.
not.
everything Yu-Gi-Oh but Duel Links.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Duel Links is huge now.
I know.
It's super
I know.
fun.
It's
It's
massive.
super
So many
fun.
events and like they tie things in.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's its own story.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah.
missing out.
Yeah, I'm gonna download it. I promise I will. It's not just these two people have been hollering at me for years to get Duel Links, so I'm gonna get it. I
We can
promise.
live duel. We can live duel.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be
I'd be
awesome.
down for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I suck.
Do like a stream. Well, I'm not gonna be much better.
Pretty good. I'm about medium.
We'll get on Matt
medium
Shipman.
quality.
We'll do a 2-on-2 duel.
Yeah.
Duel. That'd be awesome. But guys, that's pretty much going to wrap things up here. So a huge thank you again to Daniel J. Edwards, the voice of Gore, Go, Revolver, Varis, Aigami, Dennis. Really been through the ringer with Yugioh recently. Great voice actor. And to Sam Black, who voices Kusanagi, voiced Battle Beast, voiced. You want to say the clock guy?
Mamoru Noro.
Thank you. I just can't say the name.
Yeah.
I would always say Nomu.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for coming on. And thank you to my platinum tier patrons, Alexa Baker, Christopher Johannes Bouska, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, D01, and James Rose, and to my diamond tier patrons, Soledsnak and bouldergeist. And a thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, I memorized it after. Yeah.
It's like Arya Stark's murder list.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Really does mean the world to me. And thank you all for watching. If you're still watching to this point, you guys really are true fans, and I cannot thank you enough. Thank you again so much, guys, for coming on. Hopefully, we will do this a couple more times before maybe the dub airs, get some other people on as well. That'd be awesome.
super fun.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a lot of fun. A lot of different Yu-Gi-Oh aspects to discuss. So that'll wrap things up. Leave your thoughts down below. I'll talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day.